Imagine your home, the one place where you should feel safe, suddenly turning against you. Furniture moves on its own, children float from their beds, and disembodied voices whisper your name from the dark. What if I told you this isn't a horror movie? It's real. It had happened to an ordinary family in North London, a case so terrifying that even police officers, priests, and scientists couldn't explain it. This is the Enfield Poltergeist, the haunting that shocked the world and left everyone asking, was it real or the greatest hoax of all time? It's 1977. The Hodgson family lives at 284 Green Street in Enfield, North London. A modest, two-story council house, quiet, unremarkable, and perfectly normal, until it wasn't. Peggy Hodgson, a single mother of 4, was just trying to keep her children safe: Margaret, Janet, Johnny, and Billy. But one night, as the kids were settling in, something strange happened. Janet complained that her bed was shaking. Peggy thought she was imagining things, until a loud knock echoed from the wall, then another, and another. The sound moved around the room, intelligent, deliberate, as if answering them. When Peggy demanded, "Who's there?" the wall knocked back 3 times. What began as a simple disturbance soon spiraled into one of the most documented hauntings in modern history. Over the next few days, the chaos intensified. Furniture began sliding across the floor, toys flew off shelves, and witnesses swore they saw a chair levitate 3 feet into the air before slamming down. When police arrived to investigate, they laughed at first until one officer saw a chair move by itself across the room. That same officer signed a sworn affidavit saying it happened, and that no one was near it. But this was only the beginning, because soon, the haunting found its voice. Janet, the 11-year-old daughter, began speaking in a deep, raspy tone. She claimed it wasn't her voice, it was his. When investigators asked who was speaking, the voice growled, "I'm Bill. I used to live here, and I died in that chair." They checked. A man named Bill Wilkins had indeed died years earlier, in that very house, in that very chair. News spread fast. Soon, paranormal investigators, priests, and reporters flooded 284 Green Street. Among them, Maurice Gross and Guy Lyon Playfair of the Society for Psychical Research. They recorded over 200 hours of audio and video inside the home. They witnessed toys flying, curtains twisting, and objects materializing from thin air. One photo even appeared to show Janet being flung from her bed, mid-air. But skeptics noticed something odd. The voice always came when Janet's mouth was slightly open. Some experts claimed she was using ventriloquism, that the haunting was a clever trick. Others disagreed. Speech pathologists said no 11-year-old could produce that guttural tone without damaging her vocal cords. And while the family was accused of faking, witnesses outside the home, police, neighbors, journalists swore they saw things move. Things that no human could explain. Even Ed and Lorraine Warren, the same paranormal investigators from The Conjuring, visited the home in 1978. Lorraine later said, "That house was truly haunted, one of the most malevolent cases we ever faced." The haunting reached its terrifying peak when Janet began levitating. Her body lifted off the bed as her mother screamed for help. Furniture flipped, fires started on their own, and cold spots appeared all over the house. Janet would wake up in different rooms, sometimes outside the house entirely. In one of the most chilling moments, the family dog began barking furiously at a corner of the room where no one was standing. A deep male laugh echoed through the air. Janet claimed the spirit wanted her, that it was trying to use her body as a vessel. Investigators witnessed bite marks appearing on Janet's arms out of nowhere. They saw her eyes roll back, her body convulsing as the voice of Bill laughed from her mouth. But then, everything stopped. One day, just as suddenly as it began, the activity slowed, then ceased completely. The family said it felt like the entity had moved on, but some believed it never left. After nearly 2 years of chaos, the Hodgsons finally moved on with their lives. But Janet would later say the haunting never really ended. She described feeling a presence even decades later, seeing objects move when she was alone. She once said, "It followed me. It knows me." Investigators remained divided. Some believed it was one of the most convincing hauntings ever recorded. Others dismissed it as a mix of teenage mischief and mass hysteria, but no one could explain the physical evidence, the voices, the moving furniture, the multiple witnesses. To this day, 284 Green Street remains a quiet home, but locals say that at night, if you stand outside and listen carefully, you might still hear the faint whisper of a man's voice. Was the Enfield Poltergeist a cruel hoax, or proof of something beyond our understanding? Whatever the truth, one thing is certain: something terrifying happened inside that small London house. Something that no one could ever fully explain. And maybe that's the scariest part of all, because if it happened to them, it could happen to anyone. If you want more stories that blur the line between fact and nightmare, subscribe to the channel, and remember, every haunting starts with a whisper. Comment below, do you believe the Enfield haunting was real, or was it all a hoax that fooled the world? Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and stay in the light.